Hello, and welcome to the 5th episode of Let's Talk Furry. When somebody mentions furries, there are a few things that come to mind, which are cute art, fluffy fursuits, and YouTubers and such. But how about other stuff, like furry music and furry writing? Well, it's an interesting point really, because neither of those two we actually see, literally. Like music, for example. You can't exactly see furry music. And I've kind of already done a video on furry music, so today we're going to dive into the unseen of the furry fandom and talk about furry writing instead. G'day, I'm Dylan the Delta Wolfie, and like I said earlier, welcome to the 5th episode of my little Let's Talk Furry series. And today, the topic at hand is the writing within the furry fandom, an aspect which I feel doesn't get as much attention as it deserves. Probably for a good reason too. There's just not much impression of furry writing in the fandom. For example, here's a picture of furry art, a fursuit, and then furry writing. If I asked which two stand out to you most, it would probably be these two, and the surveys I posted agree as well. And it's probably because, you see, this is long, it's boring, and much harder to digest than just a simple wholesome image. So, hence, I don't think that many people see this side of the fandom much. I will say now that this video isn't to get you into furry writing because everyone has different forms of creativity that they like, but if you're a new furry or just someone who'd like to know more about the writing of the fandom, well, here's a place for you. So, you might be wondering, A2K, what is a furry story? Well, a while ago I tried describing what furry music was, and well, furry music is music made by furries. Sounds simple enough, right? It was a little ambiguous. But furry writing isn't at all. If your writing in question has animals that walk like humans, it's a furry story. Or perhaps your story has a split universe where furries and humans coexist. Also a furry story, with an amazing dynamic too. If the story has feral animals portrayed with human emotions and the ability to operate within and perceive the world with complex feelings, then it's probably a feral furry story too. There are obviously some exceptions, like the Wolves of the Beyond series, which likely wasn't written with any furry intent but make great furry reads anyways. But no matter how buried it may seem, there really is a wonderful distinction between furry writing and everything else. Now, where do we find furry writing? Well, to all the new furries in the fandom, there lays a site called Fur Affinity, where you can find furry art of any kind. And, well, would you look at that? There's a little checkbox for stories and literature. Personally, what really amazed me when I first explored online was just how much writing there was. I'm pretty sure that the writing here is released faster than I can read it. But, if you're willing to explore even further outside of that, and looking for something longer and maybe more concrete, typing in furry books or just furry authors on the internet should get you some amazing reads. Though the world has a deep lack of published furry books, there's still plenty to choose from, whether you're into furry sci-fi or maybe gay young adult fiction. And yes, I'm not gonna pretend that doesn't sound amazing. There's definitely a place for you. Psst, if you're into that gay shit, then there's an author named Kyle Gold, go check him out. So, finally, it's been a rather short video, but there's a contention I really want passed on. The furry fandom is an amazing place where expressing your creativity is important and worth a lot of your experience. Though what we mainly see are fursuits and art, there's a lot more beneath the surface, like the masses of writing and Fur Affinity. Now, you don't need to love furry writing after this video. Ironic how I'm talking about this in the first place because I don't read, but I really believe that the writing in the fandom deserves a lot more respect as a part of our community. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that you stayed here and listened to everything I have to say. Now, this is just about writing as a whole. As a furry writer, I can personally give a lot more tips about writing like a furry, and if you'd like a video like that, don't forget to tell me. I'm open to suggestions, and I'm willing to let this series grow into maybe something like a lot more regular. So, with all that said, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.